Hey, Warriors fans! Today we've got the latest updates on one of the most talked about situations in the NBA right now, and you're going to want to stick around for every single detail. Over the past few months, there's been constant speculation around Jonathan Kaminga's role with the Golden State Warriors, his trade potential, and what the future holds for both him and the team. It has been a topic that sparks endless debate among fans, analysts, and front offices alike, especially considering the highs and lows we've seen from Kaminga so far this season. Right now, with new insights emerging from some of the league's top sources, we're able to paint a clearer picture of where things stand and what the Warriors might be planning as they approach the mid-season trade window. The story starts with the fact that Kaminga has had a challenging season on the court. Looking purely at the numbers, his performance hasn't been what many expected. Averaging just 12 points per game, 6 rebounds, and around 2.5 assists, it's fair to say this has been a down year for him. Fans have been hopeful, anticipating the kind of breakout performance that could cement him as a core part of the Warriors' rotation. But unfortunately, that leap hasn't materialized. Even in moments where he's received extended minutes or significant opportunities, efficiency has been an issue. True shooting percentages are among the lower quartile for players at his level. He's struggling to make threes consistently, and finishing at the rim has not been smooth either. On top of that, turnovers are a problem, placing him near the top 10% league-wide in that category. All of this creates a complex situation for both the team and Kaminga, making the discussion about his trade value far from simple. Despite these setbacks, the Warriors' front office is actively exploring options. Reports indicate that teams around the league are still intrigued by Kaminga's potential. Even though his production has been inconsistent, the fact that he is young, athletic, and possesses high upside makes him a player other franchises are willing to take a chance on. The trade market is heating up, and it's been confirmed that Golden State could begin serious trade discussions as soon as mid-January, once Kaminga becomes eligible. His contract, which carries a salary of $22.5 million, positions him as a flexible asset in larger deals. This doesn't necessarily mean the Warriors will net superstar talent in return, but it opens the door for interesting scenarios that could reshape the roster, balance salary considerations, and potentially bring in players who better fit the team's current strategy. Looking at potential destinations and trade partners, several possibilities have surfaced. The Sacramento Kings remain in the conversation, although certain assets that were once considered, like a first-round pick or even Malik Monk, seem less likely now. However, there are other intriguing young players who could come back to Golden State. For example, Maximilian Rayon, a rookie with solid shooting and rebounding numbers, presents upside and could contribute on both ends of the court. While these players may not be household names, they represent opportunities for the Warriors to bolster their depth, especially with the ongoing injury issues and lineup adjustments that Steve Kerr has had to manage this season. Phoenix also emerges as a potential suitor. The Suns have big men on their roster who, while not primary scorers, could complement the Warriors' system in meaningful ways. Players like Nick Richards, who may not be a floor spacer but contributes in rebounding, efficiency near the basket, and rim protection, could provide valuable depth in the frontcourt. There are additional names such as Mark Williams and other bigs who could become part of trade discussions. And while none of these scenarios screams blockbuster on the surface, the possibilities are intriguing enough to consider. Arguably, the most exciting trade talks involve Nick Claxton from the Brooklyn Nets. Claxton's combination of shot blocking, rim protection, and athleticism could add a dynamic element to Golden State's frontcourt. His ability to finish at the rim, serve as a lob threat, and protect the paint pairs well with the Warriors' current stars who demand spacing and gravity. If a trade involving Kaminga for Claxton were to materialize, it would not only address immediate team needs, but also potentially unlock new offensive and defensive strategies, giving Golden State a more versatile lineup capable of competing at the highest level. Claxton's numbers this season are already promising, averaging 14 points, 8 rebounds, and over 4 assists per game, demonstrating his ability to impact multiple facets of the game. His presence could allow the Warriors to optimize spacing with players like Quentin Post handling the floor spacing role, while Claxton patrols the paint and provides consistent rim protection. Beyond Claxton, There are discussions about Miles Turner as a possible match for Kaminga's contract. Turner's skill set aligns with the Warriors' needs, offering rim protection, shot blocking, and the ability to space the floor effectively. In past conversations between Golden State and Indiana, the idea of Turner, coupled with potential inclusion of Wiggins or Buddy Hield, has been floated, indicating that the front office is exploring multiple avenues to strengthen the roster while addressing gaps. Turner might not be the most hyped player in the league, but his ability to fit within the Warriors' style of play and contribute in meaningful ways keeps him in consideration as a viable trade option. The bigger picture here is that while Kaminga's season hasn't met expectations, his potential and youth keep the trade market alive. Teams recognize that with the right system, coaching, and opportunity, he could still develop into a high-impact player. This creates a unique environment where the Warriors can explore options without rushing the decision, all while evaluating which pieces might complement their current core. The dynamics of the trade market, combined with ongoing evaluations from multiple front offices, suggest that Golden State is carefully weighing both short-term gains and long-term strategy as they approach the trade eligibility date for Kaminga. For the Warriors, maintaining competitiveness in the Western Conference while managing roster development is a delicate balancing act. They're currently hovering around the middle of the play-in picture, just slightly behind teams like the Phoenix Suns, and every roster move could influence their trajectory for the rest of the season. The team has been showing resilience through injury challenges, and Steve Kerr's adjustments and rotations have kept them competitive in recent games. The possibility of bringing in a player like Claxton, Turner, or Richards could provide not only depth but also versatility, helping the Warriors to remain in contention while exploring how best to maximize Kaminga's value in a trade scenario. Ultimately, the situation around Kaminga is a reflection of the complex nature of building and sustaining a championship-contending roster in today's NBA. There are high expectations, challenging realities, and calculated risks that all come into play. Fans continue to debate his performance, potential, and trade value, while the front office works behind the scenes to determine the most strategic path forward. The next few weeks leading up to January 15th will likely provide the first concrete signals of how this will unfold, giving us a clearer idea of what Golden State's plan is and which players could enter the picture as part of potential trades. As we continue to follow the Jonathan Kaminga situation, it's clear that the Golden State Warriors are navigating one of the most pivotal points of their season. The discussions around potential trades are not only about immediate roster improvements, but also about shaping the team for the next few years. Even with Kaminga's uneven production, there's still a belief among some front offices that his ceiling remains high. The key question for Golden State is how to leverage his value most effectively, whether that means moving him for established talent, targeting young players with upside, or even creating a multiplayer deal that balances both present and future considerations. The complexity of these trade talks comes from the fact that Kaminga's profile is both intriguing and unpredictable. He possesses elite athleticism, defensive versatility, and the ability to impact games in transition. At the same time, consistency has been a significant issue. His shooting mechanics are still a work in progress, and on nights where he struggles to finish around the basket, it can have a noticeable impact on the team's offensive efficiency. Despite these challenges, scouts and executives continue to highlight his potential as a game-changer if placed in the right system. This duality makes him a player that teams are willing to gamble on. And for the Warriors, it means there's a realistic chance to extract meaningful returns if the right package is presented. Meanwhile, the Warriors are not solely focused on trading Kaminga. The organization has to consider the ripple effects any trade could have on team chemistry, rotation dynamics, and development plans for other young players. With Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green anchoring the team, there's a delicate balance to maintain between immediate competitiveness and long-term growth. Adding a player like Nick Claxton could instantly address defensive needs and provide a rim protector capable of playing alongside Green in certain lineups. His presence could allow the Warriors to experiment with more aggressive small ball lineups without sacrificing defensive integrity. And offensively, Claxton's ability to finish around the basket and serve as a lob threat could create new scoring opportunities for Curry and Thompson. Phoenix's big men also remain an interesting avenue. While Nick Richards may not provide the same star-level impact, his efficiency in limited minutes, combined with his ability to contribute in rebounding and shot blocking, makes him a potentially valuable piece for Golden State. The Suns also have other frontcourt options that could fit into Kerr's rotational strategies, providing depth while maintaining the spacing necessary for the Warriors' perimeter-oriented offense. Even if these deals aren't headline-grabbing, they serve as incremental improvements that keep the team competitive while preserving the flexibility to make larger moves in the future. On the other side of the spectrum, teams like the Sacramento Kings continue to express interest. The Kings have the assets and willingness to take risks on young, high-upside players like Kaminga. In return, Golden State could acquire prospects or role players who bring complementary skills to the roster. Even if initial targets like first-round picks or Malik Monk are off the table, there remain creative avenues for structuring trades that benefit both sides. The key for the Warriors will be to identify players who can contribute immediately without compromising the long-term vision for the team's core. Meanwhile, Miles Turner remains a recurring name in trade speculation. His profile aligns well with what the Warriors need: rim protection, floor spacing, and defensive versatility. Turner has been part of multiple past discussions involving the Warriors, indicating that the front office sees him as a realistic target. While there are no guarantees that a deal will materialize, his combination of skills and experience would allow the Warriors to plug a gap in the frontcourt and potentially accelerate their trajectory in the Western Conference. Turner's inclusion in trade conversations also underscores the strategic flexibility the Warriors are attempting to maintain, ensuring that they can pursue multiple scenarios depending on how the market evolves in the coming weeks. It's also important to recognize how the Warriors' recent performance influences trade strategy. Despite injuries and roster adjustments, Golden State has managed to stay competitive, hovering around the play-in positions and staying within striking distance of teams like the Phoenix Suns. This positioning allows them to approach the trade market from a place of strength. They're not in a panic to make a deal at any cost, which means that front office decision-makers can be selective, targeting players who genuinely fit the team's needs rather than settling for short-term fixes. This strategic patience is crucial, particularly in a league where impulsive moves can have long-term consequences. From a broader perspective, the debate around Kaminga's trade value reflects the evolving nature of talent evaluation in the NBA. Some teams see his limited production as a temporary setback, believing that his athleticism, defensive versatility, and untapped potential make him a worthwhile investment. Others are more cautious, citing the lack of consistency and the missed opportunities in previous seasons. This divergence of opinion creates a unique marketplace for Golden State, allowing them to explore multiple suitors and evaluate who offers the best combination of assets, fit, and potential upside. The outcome of these negotiations can define the team's trajectory not just for this season, but for the next several years as well. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. The Bay Area hasn't stopped buzzing since word slipped out of Chase Center's corridors. Mitchell has reportedly put pen to paper with the Golden State Warriors. No announcement has surfaced from the franchise, and no front office figure has stepped up to the microphones. But the whispers have already swelled into something much louder, more like a tremor rolling across the league's landscape. Sources close to the team described the move as electric, hinting that the Warriors believe Mitchell's arrival could redraw their offensive map. The mere idea of him slipping into Golden State's motion-heavy scheme has analysts scrambling to imagine the new geometry of the floor. Fans, meanwhile, are imagining sparks flying from every corner of the perimeter, the kind of long-range spectacle that could restore the Bay's sense of inevitability. Some insiders say the Warriors have been eyeing Mitchell for longer than most realized, quietly preparing a role tailored to his explosive first step and fearless pull-up. Others claim the interest escalated only recently, ignited by internal discussions about injecting more dynamism into the backcourt. What everyone seems to agree on is that his scoring punch could act as a fuse, one that, once lit, could set off a chain reaction across the roster. Rumor also has it that several veterans reached out to Mitchell directly, selling him on the culture, the camaraderie, and the promise of a system built on trust and constant movement. Whether those conversations tipped the scales remains unconfirmed, but the narrative has already taken hold in fan circles. That Mitchell chose the Warriors not just for opportunity, but for identity. If the whispers prove true, the Bay may soon witness a new brand of perimeter chaos. Faster, sharper, and more unpredictable than anything it has seen in recent years. And until the Warriors speak up, the city will keep humming with speculation, leaning in, waiting for the moment the rumor becomes reality. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.